Students, after discussing about various kinds of motion and relative velocity, accelerations, other factor in motion in a straight line, and the vectors, cross dot products, and the addition of vector, our next topic in this chapter, motion in a plane, is our projectile motion. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about a different kind of motion which is having a translatory motion as well as the effect of gravity also. So what is a projectile? Projectile is something which is falling or moving under the effect of gravity. So the motion tend by a projectile is known as a projectile motion, and we can define that as the projectile motion is basically a motion in which when object is thrown near the surface of earth, near the surface of earth, then it moves along curved path. Now this curved path is basically because of the effect of gravity only. So we are throwing the object horizontally, but the object is falling down instead of going up due to the effect of gravity. And we are having so many examples around us, or so many things we have seen in TVs or movies which are showing the projectile motion, like shooting an arrow, bullet, or throwing of an object or a disc. They are all exhibiting the projectile motion. Like we are having whenever a person is falling from a snow border, that is the descending slope of a snow border is representing a projectile motion. Now you can see from this that the person is going here from this position, the person is going in upward direction. It should go in upward direction, but due to the effect of gravity, after reaching a particular height, the person is falling down here. So this particular kind of curve path taken by this person is known as the projectile motion. This is the initial position, and here after this curve path the person is at this position, that is the projectile motion. Another example similar to this is a rider. So a bike stuntman is performing this stunt in this manner, and you can see that the person is taking a leap from this particular point. So this is the point of projection over here, and after reaching a particular height, it is again falling here due to the effect of gravity. Now there are different kind of motions taken by this biker because of to increase its angular momentum and to raise the speed so that it will not fall early. So it is the projectile motion. This is taken by this bike stuntman. And similar example is, we are having a beautiful example of these water jets. So the water is coming out of the nozzle with pressure, so it should go in upward direction, but after reaching a particular height the water fall down. So the total path or the trajectory of that waterfall from the fountains or jet is a projectile motion. As you can see from this fountain, as you can see from all these fountains, the water is projected from here, going up, reaching a peak, and again falling down due to the effect of gravity. So these are all beautiful examples of projectile motion, and apart from these examples we are having so many other examples of projectile motion in our day-to-day life. Now what we are concluding out of all these examples, we are concluding that for a projectile, ideal projectile, we are having some points to be considered. That is, idealized model of projectile is: number one, the effect of air resistance should be negligible. Air resistance should not obstruct the motion of the object or the projectile. Next is effect of the curvature of earth. That is, earth is not uniform, we know that. So that non-uniformity of earth should not affect the projectile motion. Then the effect of rotation of earth should be negligible. And last but not least, and very important point, is the acceleration due to gravity is constant over the range of motion. So these are the some points for the idealized projectile or ideal projectile. But as we know that For theory, the thing exists in ideal form, but in practical way, nothing is ideal. So now we are going to discuss about the projectile motion of a ball which is thrown up and the path taken by that ball. So we are having a ball over here, and we can see that this is our horizontal ground. Here, this is our horizontal ground. The ball is projected from this point and it is taking a path, like reaching a particular height, maximum height. It is falling down under the effect of gravity. So the object which is taking this trajectory path is known as projectile. So this is our projectile. So any object which is projected in air at some angle with the horizontal, that is known as our projectile. Now after that, what is our point of projection? Again, in the same, we are having the same ball throwing up, and from where the starting point, from where the ball is being thrown, that is known as the point of projection for this given projectile. The initial position for a projectile is known as the point of projection. After that, we are having another, that velocity of projection. Now this velocity of projection is represented by the velocity with which this ball is thrown up. Now this velocity plays a very vital role in the projectile motion. Depending upon the velocity, it decides how far the object will go before reaching the ground, how high the object will go. So this velocity, initial velocity with which the projectile is projected in air, is known as velocity of projection. After this velocity of projection, another important point is angle of projection. Now you can see again from this diagram the angle which this velocity vector is making with the horizontal is known as angle of projection. Now this angle of projection is very important. Now this angle of projection decides how high the object will go or how far the object will reach on the surface of earth or that horizontal projection. So this is known as the angle of projection. And after that, we are having the trajectory. Now trajectory is the name or another name for the path that is followed by the projectile. So the ball is starting from this, the point of projection, moving with velocity v, having an angle theta with the horizontal, and this is the path taken by the ball, reaching the highest position, then coming down with the effect of gravity and touching the ground over here. So starting from here, reaching here, and this curved path taken by this projectile is known as the trajectory of this projectile. Now we can see from this figure that this trajectory is parabolic in nature. So the parabolic path followed by a projectile in air is called its trajectory. After trajectory, our next is time of flight. Now this is the total time taken by the projectile from the initial to the final position. Again, the projectile is starting from here, reaching the highest and touching the ground. Now the time taken by the projectile from this initial position, then going through this trajectory and reaching this final position, that total time is known as the time of flight. Means for what time the projectile was in air. So this is the time taken by projectile to cover the entire trajectory, is known as the time of flight. Now after this, we are having the maximum height. Now what is this maximum height? This is the highest point from the surface of earth where the projectile reaches. And here we are having the projectile. This is our initial position, point of projection, and this is our trajectory. Now out of this trajectory, this is the maximum height attained by the projectile, and we know that at the highest point, for a fraction of a second, our projectile comes to rest. So here, if we divide this velocity into components, then the velocity for this vertical becomes 0 at this position. So this is the maximum vertical distance traveled by the projectile from the ground level during its motion, that is the parabolic motion for the given trajectory. After that, we are having the horizontal range. As the projectile is covering the vertical distance, this is the vertical distance, the projectile is equally covering the horizontal distance. So that particular horizontal distance from the initial position to the final position is known as the horizontal range. Or we can say that this is the displacement of a given projectile, and this is the total distance traveled by the projectile. So this is our horizontal range. Horizontally traveled distance by a projectile during its entire motion. So this is what we can say, that this is our projectile motion. So these are the terms related to the projectile motion. Now after the projectile motion, now we are in state that we can define or say that during a projectile motion, an object is simultaneously moving horizontally as well as vertically. So during these horizontal and vertical direction, there is always some change in the velocity of the projectile or the acceleration at different points of the trajectory of a given projectile. Now we are going to discuss about whether the horizontal and vertical motions are dependent or independent of each other for a projectile motion. Let us have a figure. We are having a pink ball and we are having a yellow ball. The pink ball is falling vertically downward in a straight path, translatory motion, but we are having a yellow ball which is falling down, or we can say that projected, thrown, and it is coming down with the effect of gravity. Now we can see the difference between the two paths taken by this yellow ball and the pink ball. The yellow ball is taking a trajectory which is a projectile motion, but here it is falling just under the effect of gravity and reaching the ground. Now both this yellow ball and the pink ball reach the ground at the same point, same time. So what we are concluding here from this figure, that both pink and yellow ball are falling at same rate. Yellow ball is moving horizontally while it is falling have no effect on its vertical motion. This is falling horizontally and vertically as well, but here no horizontal motion is there, only vertical motion is there. So what we are concluding? We are concluding that horizontal and the vertical motion are independent of each other. So if the ball is moving horizontally, simultaneously it is moving vertically downward also, so it is not affecting the vertical path taken by the projectile. So we can see here in our next figure that we are having a projectile, that is a ball we are having, and the ball is moving from this position to this position then, and in this manner we are having that this ball is moving horizontally as well as vertically. In this case, the ball is covering this horizontal distance here from this initial to final position, and it is also reaching a vertical maximum also. So at this particular position we are having both horizontal and the vertical component. Here at this position we are having both horizontal and vertical. So what we are having, that a projectile motion is a combination of both vertical motion and a horizontal motion at the same time. So let us analyze this projectile motion for different points of trajectory. So let us consider first frame in which we are having this projectile motion taken by object. This is the point of projection. Initial velocity is vi and it is making some angle with the horizontal. So we can consider that this velocity can be divided into two components. One is horizontal component, another one is vertical component, and let the horizontal component is vix and the vertical is viy. Now we can see in this segregated form that along the y-axis we are having component v1y which is reaching the up vertical position, and here also vix is also moving towards the final position. That is, for this initial point of projection we are having both the horizontal and vertical component for the velocity. Now, in the second frame of reference, we are having that at this particular position, the particle or the projectile is reaching at this position, and let the velocity attained by the projectile is v1. Now again it is having some angle with that trajectory or projection, so we can say that this velocity is divided into two components, that is v1x, that is the horizontal component, and v2x, v1y, that is the vertical component for this velocity v1. And in segregated form we can see that the velocity is reaching the vertical maximum and this velocity is reaching the horizontal maximum. Now in another frame of reference, again we are having that at the particular point, that is for the maximum height, let the velocity attained by the projectile is v2. So we are having this velocity is reaching its maximum position over here, and the vertical component is again approaching the maximum. It is not at its maximum position. So at this particular position, the maximum height is achieved by the vertical or the projectile, and beyond this no further increment in height is going to take place. So this is the maximum velocity for this vertical component, and now after the effect of gravity the object is falling down. So this is the v2x velocity, horizontal component for this velocity at highest point, and we are having that projectile motion is again the combination of vertical motion and the horizontal motion. Now in this frame we are having that after reaching a particular maximum position, due to the effect of gravity, the object starts falling down. Now at a particular point, let the velocity attained by the projectile is v3. Again we are dividing this into two components. One is v3x, horizontal component, and v3y, the vertical component. Now you can see from this that the vertical component of velocity is now decreasing and reaching to the origin, because due to the effect of gravity now the vertical height is decreasing and the object is falling down. But here in this case we can see that horizontal velocity is again approaching to its maximum value, that is the horizontal range. And again this projectile motion is the combination of vertical motion and the horizontal motion. Now after this we are having third last frame, which is the frame in which the particle is reaching its final destination. So projectile is here at the level of ground, and this is the final velocity attained by the projectile, that is vf. And again we are having two components, one is along horizontal to the surface and another one is perpendicular acting down at this point. So we can see that the velocity reaches at its position, that is the original position, origin. It is having the value 0 again, and what we are going to see here that the horizontal component of the velocity reaches its maximum value, that is the range of the projectile in this case. So again we are having that this given projectile motion is combination of the vertical as well as the horizontal motion. So what we are concluding here, we are concluding or summarizing all the result in a single diagram. Here we can see that this is our initial point of projection from where the projectile is projected with velocity vi and making some oblique with the horizontal. This velocity or the vector is divided into two components, horizontal component and vertical component, vix and viy. Reaches this position, here the velocity is v1, again divided into two components. We can see that horizontal component is approaching the maximum and here the vertical is going up, increasing. But at this particular position where the projectile is having velocity v2, then that velocity is purely because of the horizontal component, because we know that at a highest point the particle velocity becomes 0 for fraction of seconds. So this vertical velocity which becomes 0 is our vertical component of this velocity, and what we are having just the horizontal component. Now the object starts falling due to the effect of this gravity here, due to the effect of gravity, and at this particular position again due to the effect of gravity the particle gains velocity falling down, again divided into two components, v3x and v3y. v3y is acting downward because it is decreasing over as the height is decreasing, and v3x is increasing towards the horizontal. And at this particular point, when the particle touches the ground, reaches the ground level, the final velocity is vf. vfx is horizontal component and vfy is vertical component. Now you can see from the diagram that velocity is first increasing vertical and then falling down reaching 0. But here in this case the horizontal component is continuously increasing and reaches the maximum at final destination. So this is what we are having, the velocity here increasing reaching the maximum, the velocity becomes 0, the vertical component, and coming down and reaching the final at the final position of the projectile. So after studying this, analyzing this projectile motion of a given projectile, we are some points of conclusion that the projectile motion is combination of two motions. Number one, the horizontal motion with constant velocity, and number two, we are having the vertical motion with the constant acceleration. So here the velocity is not constant in vertical motion. Vertical motion, initially the vertical velocity is increasing, reaching the maximum, and when falling down then reaching the minimum, but the acceleration is constant. That is our acceleration due to gravity that is acting on this projectile for a given projectile motion. So after discussing these important various terms and analyzing the projectile motion for a given projectile, now we are in a state to derive the equations of motion for a given projectile motion. So when the particle is projected horizontally or vertically, some equations are derived like the maximum height, the horizontal range, the time of flight. So these are the equations we need to derive for a given projectile motion.